Hi, I'm Angie Austin with Oil and Gas 360, and we are here at EnerCom's 2018 Oil and Gas Conference in Denver, Colorado. And joining us from Moss Adams is partner Matt Rolland. Welcome, Matt.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, just kind of give me a brief background on Moss Adams.
Sure. We are a professional services firm. We're involved in over 30 industries and stretching from the Northwest down through California and all the way out through the Central region. We have a little over 2,900 employees, and of those, around 300 are dedicated to oil and gas. Specifically, we've been involved in oil and gas for over 40 years now. And we provide a range of services from assurance, tax, both federal, state and local, international, to a variety of consulting services, valuation, transactional work, wealth management, those types of things.
So you mentioned 300 employees just in the oil and gas arena. So what are the primary areas that Moss Adams helps the oil and gas companies? Like, also, what is your approach to working with maybe even a new oil and gas client?
Sure. Well, we really want to help management and the owners achieve their goals. And largely we do that by sitting down, having discussions with new clients, or potential clients, and finding out where do they want to be in the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And a lot of it depends where they are in their current life cycle. And we'll help them along the way, whether it's a startup and tax structure, how do they form their entities, through their growth and potential exits, whether it's an asset sale, an IPO. So we like to be there along the way and really help them achieve their goals.
Let's talk a little bit about how the work differs for your E&P clients, midstream, and oil field service providers specifically.
Sure. Well, it really starts with understanding the different sectors within the energy industry. And when you say oil and gas, that could be the upstream, midstream, downstream. So you have your E&P, your midstream operations, and then your downstream. And well, along the way, they all touch the same hydrocarbons. Each process is vastly different, which affects the ultimate accounting, the valuation. So for example, the revenue process for an E&P company is very different than that of a gas processing plant or an oil refinery. And so it drives when companies can recognize revenue. Looking at things like valuation, an E&P company is largely going to be reserve driven to determine its value, whereas like an oil field services company is largely based more on contracts that they have and the breadth of their operations.
Let's talk a little bit about the case of MLPs. There have been some recent tax changes that are having a pretty major impact on that piece of the industry. So could you talk about the changes in general terms, and we'll get into the overall implications for the partners and the investors and how Moss Adams is helping companies navigate this?
Sure.
Because it sounds like it's a pretty big change.
It really is. And we've seen MLPs, they've begun evaluating their tax structure. And some have already made changes, and some are considering making changes, essentially going from a flow-through entity to a corporate structure. And the primary reason being that the tax leakage under corporate is much less. It's 21% versus 35%. And which means it reduces all the K1 burden, as well as it opens up the possibility for, well, I guess it broadens the investor base available to them being under corporate. And, you know, we're able to help companies do that evaluation to see what's most beneficial to them. Our tax folks have been looking at this for a long time. But yeah, given the tax changes, it's become a very big thing that they're looking at right now.
I can imagine. All right, let's talk a little bit, Matt, about the industry's come out of the most recent period of declining oil prices. So what's next in your view, and what should oil and gas companies be looking for in the next few years?
Sure. The most specific is given that we have kind of You know, we're not back to where we were pre-2014, but we were super high with oil prices back then. But there has been lots of recovery in the last couple of years. And the biggest impact is we're just seeing a lot more deals and transactions going on, which is exciting. We've seen a lot of aggregation in the hotter basins. We've also seen companies become more capital disciplined. They're taking extra steps, taking more time to evaluate their investment decisions to try to limit overpaying or getting over leveraged. But we do expect that some of that capital that maybe was sitting on the sidelines before, we've seen become more aggressive. And maybe companies that were kind of in a holding pattern with their current investments are starting to look at potentially exiting. So whether it's an exit through a sale, a capital restructure or capital financing, or potentially even an IPO. And so the number of deals and transactions that have started coming up over the last year and stuff have been really exciting to see.
Yeah, well, I sure do appreciate you. Matt Rolland, partner with Moss Adams, and I'm Angie Austin with Oil and Gas 360. Thank you, Matt.
All right, thank you.